Hello, everybody, and welcome to part one of our Norfolk Latch. So we're trying some new things out with the filming, a couple of different styles to make it a little bit easier on us on what we do, and so I hope you like it. So what's going on here is we are actually building cabins on the property, so hopefully we can house people that are coming down to take classes. And I thought it would be very cool to actually make some of the door hardware. And so what I'm doing here is I'm recreating a type of door latch known as a Norfolk latch. Now this particular design was very prominent back in the 1700s, especially in New England and around here in the 1700s in the U.S. There's all kinds of different flavors and styles and all that kind of good stuff, and this is kind of a super beefy one. You can do much lighter ones. I think a lot of the historical ones were, not nearly like what I'm doing here. This particular size is made out of some 1-inch square stock, and of course, if you're not doing this with a power hammer, you're going to be there for about a week with a, like a stroke victim with your arm dying. But one of the cool things here I want you to notice is the dies on this power hammer have two sides to them. This is called a combo die. So on the right hand side is a bit of a rounding die, and the left hand side is a flat, and you can use those in combination to pull this stuff out. And like I said, we're doing a lot of heat, a lot of work with just one heat. Now, before anybody gives me any crap, yes, my power hammer is rocking. When I installed this thing years ago, the concrete up underneath it was not the most even, and over the years stuff has worked its way loose a little bit, and normally this thing is wedged, and I should have stopped at that point and re-wedged it, but I was lazy and ready to get this crap done, so don't give me no shit. So the thing about the Norfolk latch is what's happening there is that I've got to punch a rectangular hole down into this. This provides the clearance for the thumb latch, and that was being a monkey. Now the punch I've got right there is a flat faced, and the problem with it is it tends to walk left to right, and even though I was punching from both sides, it just wasn't doing what I wanted to do. So this new punch there is a little easier to use, and it's actually sharp, so it actually cut through it a lot easier. So once I had that done, then I made a makeshift drift out of some 1-inch by 1.25 by 1/4-inch bar. Using it as a drift, it's remarkably easy to be able to get a nice rectangular hole, and that again will be the pass-through for the thumb latch. So the thing about drifting something like this is that you have to be patient with it. This is not something that you do in one heat. In fact, you'll go in 4 or 5 heats, you'll get it fitted, and if you can see right there, it's not very straight. So once I knock it out this time, I'm actually going to go back to the power hammer to clean and straighten that thing up. But as a consequence, it's going to mush that hole. So what I'll have to do is once I have just straightened it up, and you'll see me do that here in just a second, I try to get it back into square. All right. Well, I thought you were. Anyway, it's closed up right there, and now I'll put the drift back through it, and that should be the final cleanup for the pass-through. Now, for a couple of the movies, we did a bunch of these guys, and the thing about it is that when you do so much of this work, it's very easy to forget how you did it so well the first time. And when I was doing this one, the aggravation was I got most of it right, but I ended up fighting a lot of the tooling. For example, here, when we originally did these, we had a much higher bending hardy, and so what you're going to see is that top is going to catch the anvil right there, and I'm going to go crap, so I'm going to try to move it and then make it go that way, and we're getting the job done. It's just not very effective and not very profitable from a time standpoint. And you can see right there that the handle comes way too far out. That's because that particular bending hardy was not designed to make that bend. That was for something else, and of course, God knows where that other bending hardy went. So what you're seeing me do here now is actually trying to beat this damn thing into submission to try to get a tight curve on that very thick piece of metal right there, which is a problem. If you guys have ever tried to bend a taper, bending a taper is a real pain in the butt, especially with material that's 1 inch thick. So this is me kind of, I look like I know what I'm doing, but I really don't. I'm trying to figure this out as I'm going along. But like I said, enough heat, enough hammer blows, and it will bend into shape. Make sure it's straight across the edge of the table there, and we should have a piece that's halfway finished. Now, right here, the reason I'm locking this down is this is how you get it to fit flat against your door. And being able to clamp it and then to tap it a little bit to relax it to fit is about the only way you can really get that to do the job you want it to do. And there is the final piece. So part 2 coming up a little bit later. Talk to you guys in a bit.